Oh my goodness. When I tell you the struggle of being so dang good at so many things, child, please help me, Lord, was my cry when I was trying to figure out what was my purpose? What was I meant to do? What was my career goal? And I remember taking countless quizzes. I don't know if you guys went to like careers.com, whatshouldIbe.com, I lost my mind.com, I'm trying to find it.com. And you're just all over the place because you can't figure out what you should do because you're multi-passionate and you're good at so many things. Okay. Let me tell you, I was an artist. I actually went to Parsons. I was really good at drawing. I was a dancer. I actually did choreography all the way until college. I was writing music for a music artist, okay? I actually rapped at one point in my life. I even modeled at one point in my life. And I even used to do makeup for my friend who is a supermodel. She would contact me and I would do her makeup and I was really good at it. I was good at so many things. And people were always telling me, Kim, you should do this. No, you should do this. You should. And I was even more confused. So you can be good at so many things, but it doesn't mean you're necessarily passionate about it. And how would you know if you're passionate about something? When you walk away feeling fed, when it energizes you, when you know you have fulfilled your calling, when you know you can do this in your sleep, you get only 3 hours of sleep and you can wake up and you know, I got this, and you want to do it. That is when you know this is a passion, okay? Now, what I don't like is a lot of people, their advice is to ask a friend, ask a family member, and see what their thoughts are on this. Don't do that if you can help it. And here's why. Like I said, I was writing music for one of my friends who was a rapper, okay? And he would tell you, Kim should definitely be a music artist. She should write songs, she should rap, she's so good at it, she should dance. Because that is the part of me that showed up for him and showed up well, right? However, it did not leave me feeling energized. I didn't feel like this was something I was meant to do. And then if I were to call my other friend, Lysandra, who was the supermodel, right? And I asked her, hey, what do you think I should do? She would say, you should definitely be a makeup artist because that's what I was for her. That's how I showed up for her. And I was dang good at it. However, I did not walk away feeling fulfilled. So I knew it wasn't part of my calling. So don't try to shy away from asking people what they think you should do, what they think you should be, because another friend of mine will say, Kim, you should definitely be a therapist because that's how I show up for her, right? So going back to how we see the world around us, I remember one day I prayed and I asked God, I said, Lord, I am struggling here. And it's so funny because I was already a mother, right? I had a 2-year-old at the time, and even she knew what her calling was. I remember taking her to SeaWorld for the first time, and she came home and she said, Mommy, I want to be a marine biologist. And she was so sure of it, okay? Fast forward to 10 years later, and guess what? Homegirl still wants to be a marine biologist. She already knows what she is most passionate about. When we take her anywhere, whether it's the zoo or SeaWorld, or it can be a petting zoo, anywhere, a pet shop, she looks at animals and she knows what's wrong with them. She knows what the problem is. She can even tell if their owner is taking good care of them or not. And these are things I would absolutely never notice, but she notices it because it's part of her purpose and something she's passionate about. Now, imagine having a child that's way shorter than you, not even taller than your kneecap. She knows what her purpose is, and I'm still struggling. Let me tell you, it's been a journey. So she taught me something so valuable. And I remember one time I prayed and I said, Lord, my daughter that you blessed me with, she already knows what her calling is. What's mine? What is my purpose? How come I can't figure this out? And I remember the words came in so clear. It was find their pain and provide a solution. It hit me like a ton of bricks. And then I realized the way we see the world around us, the details that we notice that no one else seems to notice or care about, that is part of our purpose because only we can provide that solution, okay? And it's funny because I think about my friend Lysandra, who was the supermodel, and she no longer models anymore because she realized that wasn't energizing her. She was good at it. She was skilled at it. She was absolutely stunning. She knew how to work her angles. And yes, it takes skill to model, okay? And she was good at networking. She knew how to move around a room. And I remember when me and her worked together, we actually worked at the Gap on Fifth Avenue in New York City. And when it was her turn to be the cashier, as she's ringing people up, she would notice everyone's hair. And it was almost like an obsession. She would notice if someone had a lot of split ends. She would notice if someone had heat damage. She would notice if someone didn't wash their hair too long. She would notice if they need a deep conditioner. And I remember she would look over and glance at me like, And I would look at her like, please not today, girl. They came in to shop. There's a clearance sale. Let's let them shop in peace. Leave the poor lady alone. Homegirl could not help it. It was like an itch that she had to scratch. And she was just like, look, ma'am, I've noticed the split ends. You need a deep treatment. And next thing you know, she's making hundreds of dollars by the end of the week because she was able to attract all these clients because she was fulfilling her purpose and she was really good at it and she was passionate about it. Fast forward later, today, she owns her own hair salon in Atlanta and she's doing absolutely amazing. And she left the lifestyle behind that she once knew for the life that she knows was always meant to be hers. So think about the things that you're good at. Make a list of those things. It may be a lot. You may end up with 50 things on your list, maybe just 10. And think about what has you walking away feeling energized and what has you feeling depleted. And that is when you know this is part of my calling. And if you're still confused and you're like, well, I'm really passionate about this, but I don't think I can make money doing it. Lies. You can make money doing absolutely anything. Anything can be monetized. I have a friend named Chris. He actually owns a brow salon. Yes, he only does eyebrows. He is the man that walks around everywhere and he notices everyone's eyebrows. And he's so successful at it. A lot of his clients are celebrity clients and he makes hundreds and thousands of dollars just doing eyebrows. So think again, if you think for a second, what you are passionate about, you can't make money doing it. It's a lie. It is a lie. You certainly can. Here is a piece of advice that I often give because it helped me tremendously. And that is when you see someone else doing something and you feel inspired by it, or you feel like, man, I feel like I'm supposed to be doing it. And there's another feeling that follows it, similar to when an ex-boyfriend sees you walking with your new man, right? And he's looking at you like,
dang, that was the good one that got away. Man, I messed up.
Right? And he's like, man, I'm supposed to be the one in her arms. I'm supposed to be walking next to her. I'm supposed to be bringing her out on that date, right? And it's that feeling like I'm supposed to be in that position. I remember one time I saw one of my friends, she was interviewing this basketball player. And I remember sitting there thinking to myself, I feel like I'm supposed to be doing this. I feel like that's supposed to be my position. Why do I feel like I'm being called there or my spirit is drawing me there like a magnet, right? Or even, let's say if you thought about being a teacher and you see someone teaching in the classroom and you just get this feeling like, why do I feel like I belong there? Why do I feel like I'm supposed to be up there teaching this class? That is a clear sign that this may be part of your purpose because it's clearly something you are passionate about and your spirit is telling you and drawing you to this. You're drawn to it for a reason. And maybe that reason is because that position is supposed to be yours. So I often think about life coaching because I was a life coach. I actually became certified in 2017 and I was great at it. I was featured in Oprah Daily thanks to my life coaching skills and my success with it. And I remember this exercise that I would give all of my clients, and I would tell them to make a list of 3 people they absolutely admire. And what I would do is make them make a list of their top 3 people, and then also under that, right, they would categorize each person, and then under that put 3 qualities of each person that they admired most. My number 1 was always Oprah Winfrey. And then I would make a list of the 3 things that I admired most about her. So my 3 was always she was ambitious, right? She was a philanthropist and she was a successful journalist. And I realized, I'm like, wait a minute. It hit me. These are all the qualities that I had within myself, okay? And a lot of my clients would realize that by the end. I remember one of my clients, one of the people she admired was, I believe it was Beyonce. And she said, well, I admire that she's such a powerhouse woman. I admire that she's able to do all of these things and she empowers women and blah, blah, blah. And then she realized, oh my God, that's me. I love empowering women. This is part of my calling. That is who I am. She was able to pinpoint what her calling was based on what she admired in the people she admired the most, which was parts of who she was. A lot of times, the things we notice in others are the very things that we carry. And we don't give ourselves enough credit to recognize that part of ourselves. So, in closing, be very mindful when sharing your dreams, your aspirations, and when you discover your purpose. I know you're going to get this light lit up inside of you and you're going to want to run and tell the entire world. But you have to be very mindful because there's a such thing as dream killers, okay? When I finally figured out who I was and what I was meant to do, I was not met with the greatest support. I was not met with the celebration that I expected to get, right? Instead, there was a lot of criticism. Oh, girl, I don't think you should do that. You know, I had a family member that told me my desire to be a writer was a pipe dream. My desire to be a life coach was fake and it was motivational and it's wishy-washy and it's, you know, it was just not the most encouraging experience for me. So what I would like for you to do is to protect this journey at all costs, okay? Protect this journey as much as you possibly can. And as you discover more of you and you get closer to the answer to this big question that has been carrying over your shoulders for the past couple of years of your life, and you get closer to that answer, I want you to protect it when you finally find it. Because there are going to be people out there that's going to discourage you, that may even cause you more confusion and put you back to square one. Okay, so protect it. So today I'm everything that I was taught I should not be. Okay, I am a journalist, I'm still a life coach, and I am a content creator. I now write for some of the biggest companies in the entire country, and I do it exceptionally well, and I get paid very well for doing it. And these are things that I was taught would be impossible. But let me tell you, all things are possible. And I'm so happy, and this is the happiest I've ever been in my life because now I know what my purpose is. Okay, I'm still technically a teacher, right? You know, it's funny because when I went to school, I started off going to school for psychology, and then I realized that wasn't my calling. And then I started to go to school for early childhood education, and then I realized I absolutely hated it because, you know, I did the volunteer work, and I thought it wasn't for me. So exposing yourself to different experiences is another key step towards finding what your purpose is. You know, making those mistakes, but try to make those mistakes without it costing you a hefty amount of money, because I owed so much money in student loan debt, okay? So much money. And that's because I was on this path of trying to figure out who I was and what I was meant to do. And unfortunately, it required a lot of student loan debt to be racked up over that period of time. And maybe you don't have to do that. Maybe you can just volunteer without going to college first. Figure it out before you rack up a lot of student loan debt. But I remember stepping away from psychology and then stepping away from early childhood education because these were things that I enjoyed, but it wasn't what I was truly passionate about. There was parts of me that was left out. And fast forward to now, it's funny because as a journalist, I'm still a teacher. As a content creator, I'm still a teacher. I'm still gathering information and I'm providing it in bite-sized pieces, making it easy to digest for other people. So technically, I am still teaching. I am still in the realms of psychology because I provide a lot of insight surrounding mental health, right? And all of those things has been able to collaborate into one big giant ball of whatever my purpose was. And then I figured it out. Oh my gosh, I was always meant to be a journalist. This was part of my calling. This was what I was meant to do. So I share that to encourage you to protect as much as you possibly can. But this is your safe place. I would love for you to I would love for you to leave a comment and let me know where you are currently at on your journey to discovering your purpose, right? Because this is a no judgment zone. Okay, I want to see you win, and you are safe with me. You are always going to be safe with me. And definitely subscribe because I have more content coming up, and I would love to hear from you. What more would you like to hear from me? Okay, and let us stay connected. Let's build a community of like-minded people, and let us support one another on this journey of finding our purpose and living a more purposeful life. Take care and God bless.